All right, guys, this is going to look a little bit different just because I'm not able to really walk comfortably for long periods of time. So I'm going to do this sitting down. But we are going to talk about your factoring assessment review, just kind of let you know what's going to come up on the test. I'm going to go through the questions just like always. So please, please, please pay close attention because I'm going to tell you exactly what is coming up, okay? So the first one, there's going to be a question looks like this. Looks like, let's go 28x squared minus 4x. Okay, so you're going to have a question that looks like this. It says write an expression that's equivalent to this by factoring. Write your answer with no spaces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a number. First of all, you always, when you're factoring, you're always going to look for the greatest common factor first. You always want to look for the greatest common factor first. Whatever you do, the greatest common factor always goes first. So the number that goes into 4 and 28 is going to be 4. So I'm going to divide that. So I've got 7x, well, we're not going to go to x yet. And then 4 divided by 4, that's just going to be minus 1. We might not need the 1, but we'll see. Okay. Now, we've got x squared and we've got x. Okay. So what do they have in common? They both have at least 1x. So I'm going to bring 1x out. And I'm going to leave 1 inside because this one had 2. We brought 1 out, now there's 1. So if I multiply, if I want to check my answers, if I multiply 4 times 7, I get 28. If I multiply x times x, I get x squared. And the same thing over here, 4x minus 1 is negative 4x. So always check your work. Make sure that you double check your work. This cannot be factored anymore. This cannot be factored. So this is actually that's my complete answer, okay? You need to make sure that you're finding a greatest common factor, okay? All right, number 2. You're going to have one that looks like this. It says, which function is equivalent to this? And you're going to have g of x, which don't let that mess with you, okay? We're still just factoring. X squared plus, I don't know, I'm going to try to figure something out that works. Let's go 12x minus, and it's hard to come up with these in my head, just trying to make them up. What two numbers multiply? Let's go minus 28. I think that'll work. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the whole x, the x thing that we talked about, negative 28, positive 12. So the factors of 28 are going to be 28 and 1, 14 and 2, 3, no, 4 and 7, 5, 6, and now we're at 7. So, all right, positive means that the larger number is going to be positive, which go around. This is negative, which means they're going to be different. So this side's going to be all negative, negative, negative. Hopefully you guys remember that. Okay. Which combination adds up to be positive 12? It would be positive 14, negative 2. So you just basically look for the one that says x plus 14, x minus 2. There's my answer. Okay. Don't let the g of the x thing confuse you. G of x equals. Okay. That just simply means y equals. We've talked about that. Okay. So all we did was we factored that. We got positive 14, negative 2. Okay. That's the second one. Okay. Remember the x thing. Remember the x. So here's a little thing. You might want to write this down or put it somewhere. If it's positive, they're going to match. The signs are going to match. If it's negative, the signs are going to be different. Remember that? If it's positive, they match. If it's negative, they're different. And this sign, whatever the sign is, this one's going to be the larger number. This is always going to be the sign of the larger number, okay? So please, please, please remember that, okay? You're going to need to know that for this test. All right. Let me make sure that we're good. Everything looks good. I'm going to refocus my camera, I hope. Yep, we're good. All right, let's go to the third one. I'm going to try to use the same piece of paper. All right, same thing. So you're going to have the letter x. Let's say x squared. We're going to have minus, let's go 8x plus, sorry, I'm trying to find combinations that work. Plus 16. Let's do a 16. Okay, so here we go. Positive 16 goes at the top. Positive means that they're going to match. and I need negative 8 down at the bottom. Okay, so here we go. 16 and 1, 2 and 8, 3, nope, 4 and 4. Okay, so here we go. We got a negative, which means my larger one's going to be negative, 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 and they have to match. So this side is also going to be negative, negative, negative. And the combination that adds up to be negative 8 is going to be that right there. So we're going to have x minus 4, and we're going to have x minus 4 again. Now, if you see this, it's probably going to be written like this, x minus 4 squared, okay? But that's not what's going to be on the test, okay? I'm just giving that to you. Just know that if it's a positive, they have to match. Okay, the signs have to match, so I ended up with negative, negative because it's a negative at the bottom. That's where your mistakes are going to, excuse me, that's where your mistakes are going to be during the test, okay? All right, here we go. New piece of paper. All right, all the sticky notes are for the border. All right, here we go. So we've got something that looks like this. 2x squared plus, let's say 2x. This is hard to do. Minus, let's go 40, okay? So you always, like I told you during the test, you always have to find the greatest common factor first. Always, always, always. Make sure that there's not a greatest common factor that you can take out of there. In this case, my numbers are 2, 2, and 40. So 2 is going to come out, and I'm going to factor this. So I've got x squared plus x minus 20. All I did was I divided everything by 2. That's all I did, okay? So if I do the box, minus 20, positive 1, because that's a 1. Okay, so positive, here we go, 20 and 1, 2 and 10, 4 and 5, okay? Positive means all my larger numbers are going to be positive. This means they're going to be different. So these are all going to be negative, negative, negative. And my combination that adds up to be positive 1 is positive 5, negative 4. So I've got x plus 5, x minus 4. Don't forget the 2 that's on the front. Okay, don't forget the 2. Okay. Hope that's okay. All right, let's do another one. You're going to have one that looks like this, number 5. You're going to have one that looks like 2x squared plus, sorry, I'm trying to do the math in my head. This is not easy to do. 9 plus 9x. So let's do this, okay? All right, so there's no greatest common factor. So if you guys remember this, if we have a number on the front, this is going to be called slide and divide. Okay, slide and divide. This is where we take the front number, take it down to the end, and multiply it right here. 9 times 2 is 18, so I'm left with this. Okay, hopefully you remember that. Make sure that we're good. Now, I'm going to slide that up just a little bit. I'm going to do the little x. So I've got 18, and I've got positive 9. So my factors of 18 are 18 and 1, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. Everything's positive, so 6 and 3. So I've got x plus 6, x plus 3. Now, this is where it gets a little bit different, okay? Let me see if I can bend my camera just a little bit. I want you to be able to see this. Hopefully that works. Okay, now remember, we slid a 2 in the first step. Remember, we slid a 2 in the first step. So this is not my answer. If you want to double check it, always double check. 6 times 3 is not 9. Okay, so please double check. We multiplied by 2, so the last step we're going to divide by 2. Okay, what is 6 divided by 2? That is x plus 3. 2 will not go into 3, so if you remember, we slide it to the front. 2x plus 3. That is my answer. Now, if I double check it, I've got 3 times 3, which is positive 9. That's what we started with, and that works out, okay? So always double check your stuff. So if you need to, go back and watch slide and divide, okay? Or this is the notes. Factoring with A greater than 1. If you go back and watch that set of notes, if you need to know slide and divide, go back and watch them. All of these videos are on YouTube. If you want to go back and watch any of them, you're more than welcome to. Okay, you're always more than welcome to. All right, moving on. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Number 7. I'm not going to go through a whole lot of these because it's not a whole lot different. Okay, everything that I've pretty much shown you is the exact same. Number 6 says factor the trinomial completely. Okay, so basically the same thing. It's going to look like this: 3x squared plus, I don't know. I'm just going to make something up. 8x plus 5. This won't factor. Okay, just stick with me on this. This will not factor. So what I would do is I would do the slide and divide times 3 and do that. Okay. So please, a couple things I want to make sure that you take care of. Greatest common factor. You need to take care of slide and divide. Okay. Make sure that you know the X method. Make sure you know how to do that. Okay. This one won't factor, but the whole point of this one is that there is another slide and divide question. So at least right now we have at least 2 of those. Okay, we have at least 2 of those. All right. Number 7 is just a straight up factor. Like that one's actually pretty easy. Number 7 looks like this. It's something simple like x squared plus, I'm just going to come up with something like 5x plus 6. Okay. Very, very simple. A couple positives. You should be able to figure out pretty quick. X plus 3, x plus 2. They multiply to be 6, but they add up to be 5. Okay. It's very, very simple. Just the biggest mistake that you're going to make is with the signs, by the way. The signs are going to be the biggest issue. So please, please, please pay attention to that. Same thing for number 8. Exact same thing, except the signs are going to be a little bit different. Number 8 is going to look like this. X squared minus, let's go negative 24 on the end. Let's go negative 10x. Okay, so if I do the box, negative 24, negative 10, this means they're going to be different. So 24 and 1, 12 and 2, 8 and 3, 6 and 4. Okay, negative, which means all my larger numbers are going to be negative, which means these are going to be positive. Okay, so my combination is x minus 12, x plus 2. You just need to know the signs. This means they're going to be different. This means the larger numbers are going to be negative. Okay, that one's going to be drag and drop. That one's going to be drag and drop. So you're going to have to pick the correct ones. There's going to obviously going to be 2 of them. All right. Number 9, you've got another one that is slide and divide. So you got at least 3 of those. Slide and divides. I'm not going to do another one of those. Just go back and pay attention to the slide and divides. And then number 10, you're going to have something that looks like this. They want you to, They want you to factor x squared minus 36 or something like that. Okay. These are the perfect squares. If you remember, this is the one where I told you guys it only works when you have a perfect square and it's a negative in the middle. It has to be a negative in the middle. Has to be a negative. That is extremely important. Okay. How do you get x squared? X and x. And just work your way down the line, guys. X squared we took care of. How do you get a negative? Well, you have a positive and you have a negative. And then you take, what's the square root of 36? Positive 6, negative 6. That's your answer. Like, seriously, that's it, okay? So you're going to have, let me do a couple things really, really quick. I want to tell you exactly what's going to be on this test, okay? Exactly what's going to be on this test. So I'm going to zoom in right here. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to be on it, okay? There is one with the greatest common factor. The second one is just factoring with the X method, okay? Number 3 is just the factoring. You need to know the X method. Number 4 is going to be greatest common factor, but then you're also going to have to do the X method, okay? Number 5, That one is going to be the first one of the slide and divide. I've already marked those. Number 6 is going to be another slide and divide. I've already got it marked. That's 2 of them. Number 7 is just the X method. Number 8 is just the X method. Number 9 is going to be slide and divide and the X method. And number 10 is going to be the perfect squares. Okay, so the biggest part of the test, if you guys can already see it, the biggest part of your test is going to be that X method. Okay, we need to make sure that we know what we're doing on this. Okay, please pay attention to that. That doesn't mean you're going to have 14 questions or whatever it adds up to be. Some of these, like you're going to have a greatest common factor and you're going to have to do the X method. Okay, so a couple of those you're going to have to do both methods. Please go through there, pay attention to them. Don't make any silly mistakes. Pay attention to the signs. Okay. If you have any questions, please come see me. Okay. Good luck.